at you on a Friday. Glad you could join us. The Vegas Take Sharp and Shapiro. Coming up in hour number 2, by the way, Brian Salmon from Channel 3 will be joining us, along with Dennis Silvers, the golf guru. Talk a little U.S. Open. But getting back to the phone calls, we're talking about, of course, the man himself, Donald Trump. By the way, he wants to change Air Force One. He already has, changing the colors. The colors have been blue, and Trump says that just doesn't fit with him. It's been the same on the Boeing 747 since 1962 when John F. Kennedy commissioned the plane. And because of this, a Democrat-led House Armed Services Committee passed an amendment this week that would place limits on Trump's plans to change Air Force blue and white colors. He wants to make it red, white, and blue because he says the blue doesn't fit with me. So he wants to sorry, that's my Trump impersonation. That's what he wants to do. That's my Alec Baldwin. He wants to switch it to red. Donald Trump red. The ego just can't leave Air Force One alone. What's he going to do? Paint the White House red? Is that going to be the next thing? Ridiculous. 257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Dave, who's been waiting patiently on hold. Dave, what's up? Dave, did we lose you? Uh-oh. I think we lost Dave. 257-5396. Nick, you're next. Nick, what's going on?
How you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I think it's really comical that with all the stuff going on in the world, that we're worried about what colors Air Force One is going to be. He's not trying to paint it pink or purple. Red, white, and blue is pretty believable. It's not crazy,
Okay.
And it's not outside the box. So
Well, I just took 15 seconds.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen when he wins again? Are these the issues we're going to talk about for the next 4 years?
How about okay?
Well,
let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. First of all, I took 15 seconds out of my show to talk about that. I'm not doing a segment on the colors of Air Force One. It's just another example of him being a complete egomaniac. Can't leave things the way they are. Now, in the first segment, I talked about a couple very serious subjects. No, you're right. I don't think that the color of the plane is a serious subject. However, if you listen in the first segment, I did talk about receiving information from a foreign power, dirt on an opponent, Trump thinking that is still okay. Yes, I do think that is serious. I do think it's serious that Sarah Huckabee Sanders has lied on a regular basis. Yes, I do think that's serious. And plenty of other comments that I talk about on this show on a daily basis. I can give you more serious things if you'd like. So, no, I'm not just doing an hour on the color of Air Force One. So would you like to talk about some of those other problems in the last 48 hours that I've discussed? Because I'll gladly have that debate with you, Nick.
Well, I just think that everything that he does, like, first of all, you said he's an egomaniac.
Well, yeah,
Are you saying that
he
we've
is.
Never had a president before that likes
You
to see
think
his own face on
I am
camera?
not a Barack Obama apologist, but you think the ego between Barack Obama and Donald Trump is at the same levels? Are you really going to say that right now on a 50,000-watt radio station? You think that all the presidents have had the same ego? Let me tell you something. One thing about Barack Obama is the man had respect. It wasn't always all about him. Everything Donald Trump does, he wants credit for, including John McCain's funeral. Didn't you have a problem with those comments? He wanted credit for John McCain's funeral, a man that he steps on his grave on a regular basis. Don't sit here and tell me that every president is just like Donald Trump when it comes to ego, because you're wrong, Nick. You're flat out wrong.
Of course, you're comparing him to Barack Obama, right?
You just compared him to every president. You just compared him to every president.
Are you going to let me speak? Well, it's not a conversation unless I can speak.
Well, you're right. It's not a conversation where everything you say is ridiculous. But go ahead.
It's not ridiculous.
Yes, it is ridiculous. You are ridiculous.
Because he's a buffoon, like you say, or
scumbag. Use the term scumbag too. Don't forget that one.
Those are not reasons to impeach a president.
Did I even say the word impeachment in the last 45 minutes? What the hell are you talking about? You keep changing the subject.
Did I say?
Excuse me, Nick. Did I say that he deserves to be impeached? Have I ever said that on this show? You're making yourself sound dumber by the second. Did I ever say that? I am asking you, have I ever said that I believe that Donald Trump should be impeached? Yes or no?
You are feeding right into the
Yes or no? Answer the question. Have I ever said that Donald Trump deserves to be impeached? Yes or no? For the third time.
I have never heard you say.
Thank you. So don't bring that up. Bring something else up if you have a bone to pick with me. Don't make stuff up.
So if the guy is a buffoon and we don't like him,
forget scumbag. I'd rather you say scumbag. He's more of a scumbag. Yeah, he's more of a scumbag than a buffoon. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's going to get elected again. That's the problem.
And what did I just say 15 minutes ago? Are you a pea brain? With all due respect, I just said that I believe Donald Trump is going to win. What point are you trying to make on this show?
Okay, I'll make my point.
Yeah, please do, because I've given you 5 minutes. You haven't made one.
My point is that once he wins, are we going to go through this nonsense for another 4 years?
What nonsense?
We call him
what
a
nonsense?
buffoon. We talk about the colors of airplanes. Let's talk about the Iranians.
Do you always talk about, like, go around in circles? Like, if when you go home to see your wife, if you're married, and she says in the morning, I'm going to cook you a steak dinner, and then you come home and say, honey, what are you going to cook for dinner? And you ask her 8 times. Is that the type of conversation you had? We just had this conversation 3 minutes ago. I just gave you a couple important problems that I think the president has said and actions in the last 48 hours. I took 15
so
no, it's not okay.
No, it's not okay. What would you like to do about it?
What would I like to do about what?
Yeah.
Be specific.
What would you like to do about the fact that he wants to do all these things that you don't like and you think he's a buffoon? What are your options if you're a smart, intelligent person? What are your options?
Well, America. Okay, well, I'll answer your question. America has options. They are going to vote. They are going to vote in 2020. That's option number one.
You just said he's going to win again.
Are you going to let me finish? Are you going to let me finish, Mike? Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate. Thank you. That's nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're too kind, Nick. Option number two: if he takes dirt from a foreign adversary, he should be punished for that. That's exactly what Jared Kushner did in that meeting with Biff, as Mike Lavanati likes to call him, Don Jr. Okay, so Nick, we've been talking around in circles for 5 minutes. You've accused me of saying that I believe the president should be impeached. You're wrong on that one. I took 15 seconds to talk about the colors of Air Force One. We are on the radio 10 hours a day. Isn't that right, JD? Is my math right? Is that 10 hours? 2 plus 2
I
plus
believe
2
it's
plus...
87 hours a week.
Yeah. No, it's not that much. I'd go crazy with some of these callers if it was 80. I would need mental help. Well, I need mental help anyway. 257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Samantha. Samantha, thanks for waiting on hold. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, Samantha. Just please don't talk in circles like that last guy. That's all I ask.
Just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You're good. You're good.
Okay. Thank you. That helped.
You.
That helped. I like that.
Me
I feel much better now. I feel relaxed. Samantha, do you do what is it called when you sit down and you meditate? Have you ever meditated, Samantha?
Yeah, no, I don't have the patience.
I got to tell you something. I did that with my ex-fiance, and it did absolutely nothing for me. I think it's a scam. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree. I don't know where to start. I have so many things now that I want to talk about.
Well, let's do it.
Firstly, okay, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, let me just say this. Isn't her job to make her boss look good, right? So like it or not, like her or not, she's good at her job.
Can I respond to that? You can make your boss look good without lying to the American public, without arguing with the media and attacking the media, regardless of whether members of the media are attacking you, and we could debate that. No, I don't think she's good at her job. I don't think you should have to lie to be good at your job. I think there are ways of making people look good by also admitting fault and saying, well, maybe he made a mistake on that one, but let's move on. I don't want to comment on that. Let's move on. For example, when it's about, the comments he makes about John McCain or the lies he says on a regular basis, or when he says, the media is the enemy of the people. Sarah Huckabee Sanders should say, no, I don't think the media is the enemy of the people. I think the president was frustrated. There are ways of going about it, and she just won't do that. To her, Donald Trump could do no wrong, and I just disagree with you on that, Samantha.
Okay, well, that's fair. But do you agree that others, press secretaries, have done the same thing for years and years and years?
I would say trying to make their boss look good, absolutely. But to the extent that Sarah Sanders does in lying and attacking the media, I would say no.
I just think she thinks on her feet. She deflects. And she talks around subjects, and I think that's what she's paid to do.
She's not paid to lie, though, Samantha.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she kind of is.
No, we don't. Well, then that's really sad. We've set a very sad bar, Samantha, in this country. We're just going to have to agree to disagree on that. What else did you want to talk about?
No, and then about Donald Trump.
Yes.
He's a buffoon. Yeah, he's bombastic.
Hey, wait a second. Don't use my word. You're not allowed to do that. Buffoon is my word.
I'm not saying scumbag. I won't say scumbag.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Okay, but get around all the personal attacks on him and
well, it's not about the personal attacks on him. It's more about the personal attacks that he puts on others. I think that's why people go after him.
I just think that we hold these people up over the years. We've raised them to such a level that they're supposed to be bigger than God.
Well, let me ask you a question. What is the most important job on the planet? What do you think is the most powerful job on the planet?
I totally agree. It is the President of the United States.
So shouldn't we? So okay. I'm glad we agree on that. So hence, shouldn't we put them to the highest level possible? They're a leader of the free world, and we're not just talking about a professional athlete or someone that has role models. We're talking about the President of the United States going after POWs, going after Gold Star families on a regular basis, going after somebody's looks. Yeah,
but when our country was founded, that was not the when we had separation of powers, he was supposed to be equal. And I think that we've done a disservice to the country by making him so important.
I think we've done a disservice. We would disagree on that. I think we've done a disservice to the country by putting this buffoon in office. That's where I would agree with you on. But I mean, the guy was a celebrity who got ratings on Apprentice, who was handed a $500 million company. I think he completely unqualified to be the president of the United States. But anyway, that's just my opinion, Samantha.
What are the qualifications to be the president of the United States? What does it say in the job?
I'm sorry, Samantha. I'm sorry. Your phone was you were sounding like a robot there. I apologize. But hey, good call. Please call back anytime. That was a good conversation. I like to have conversations like that. We disagree, but she made her points, and I respect her for that. Thank you for calling in, Samantha. 257-5396. Let's go to Mike. Mike, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, Mike.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Donald Trump. Is there where again, hypothetical situation, if any world leader called and had information that any president of the United States needs to know about to get those authorities involved, that's what you have to do. You have to get that information. That's what we do as a nation to protect our
so you think all right, hold on, Mike. Let's talk about
nations,
okay,
our allies.
So you think what we do as a nation, I just want to make sure I got your opinion because I don't want to put words in your mouth. What we do as a nation, or what we should do, in your opinion, is go after, or at least speak to, foreign entities like Russia, okay, that are not our allies, to try to interfere with an election and get dirt on, somebody that you're running against. You're saying that's what we do as a nation?
I'm saying in regards to if a country called and said there was some type of threat to our nation, this is who is involved with this. Okay,
that's different, though. Mike, that's different.
To take this matter out.
Okay, but Mike, that's different.
Somebody.
But Mike, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you, but that is a different subject than what we are talking about. We're talking about, quote, dirt on somebody in a campaign, or maybe somebody that Donald Trump is running against. You do understand that's different than if, for example, Vladimir Putin called up Trump and said, "Hey, I got some information that ISIS is planning an attack on blah 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 blah." That's completely different, Mike. You understand the difference, right?
Right.
I don't disagree with you, but that's different. We're specifically, and I appreciate the call, Mike. Thank you very much. We're talking about, getting dirt on a candidate. Maybe you don't understand. There's a big difference there, Mike, but I think we agree more than we disagree. 257-5396. Chris, you're next. What's going on?
Hey, I just got a quick question for you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how come you guys only have, the likes of Avenatti on your radio show?
Who would you like to have on?
And John Wayne Bobby. Is it because you can't get anyone reputable on your show?
I could name you some of the guests that we have had on in the last 20 years I've been on the radio. Would you like me to name those for you? I've interviewed Barack Obama before. I've interviewed Hillary.
Scumbag.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, you're biased. I know if you had it your way, you'd like us to interview all these people on the right. But guess what, Chris? It's not your show. We can interview whoever we want.
We've had Amy Tarkanian.
I wouldn't have John.
By the way, we've had Danny Tarkanian on. We've had Amy Tarkanian on, which are people that are way on the right. We gladly have them on, and we've
had the former chairwoman of the Las Vegas NRA.
They're not so clean either, buddy.
Oh, okay, so who would you like us to have on, Chris? I'll tell you what. You're our producer. You're our content producer, Chris. I'm going to hire you. Who should we have on Monday? Let's go right now. Who are we having on next week?
I think we're going to have Avenatti and John Wayne Bobby.
I just asked you a serious question. You're criticizing us, even though you're still listening to our show and calling in. I find that interesting. But I'm making you our producer. So I've given you now 1 minute to answer the question since you cowardly didn't answer it 20 seconds ago, and I'll ask it again. Who should we have on the show next week?
Why don't you try to have someone like the governor?
Exactly. See, you can't answer the question because you're a moron. Goodbye, Chris. I gave you several chances. You know what, JD, I was going to hire Chris, too. Weren't you going to hire him? I was ready to do it, man. I was ready for him
I saw a couple of interesting marks on his resume that I can't really talk about on air.
What were they? No, let's share Chris's resume. Did he send you his resume, really?
He sent it in, and it's...
Yeah. Did it say
it wasn't the Vegas take material. Sorry, Chris.
I heard a rumor on Chris's resume that way on top there, it said right-wing buffoon. Is that true? Is there any truth to that at all?
It was way, way worse than that.
Would like to work for your show, would like to call into a show every day. I'd like to take my time with my little Trump fingers and dial into your show and complain about the guests you have on, but I'm still going to listen to your show every day and call in every day. And then when confronted on the air, I'm going to cowardly not answer the question because I'm an idiot. Thank you for the call, Chris. We appreciate it.
Hey, Chris, great call.
257-5396 is the number to call. 702-257-5396. What a loser. Let's go to Stella. Stella, what's up?
I just think it's really sad that you have to call everybody names. And
no, that's not true. I don't call everybody names. Just a few idiots. That's all.
But why? Why can't you just listen to them?
So Stella, let me ask you a question.
Hey, Stella, the last caller called Barack Obama a scumbag.
Yeah, do you have a problem with that?
You've been calling Donald Trump.
Oh, so it's okay.
Day.
Oh, so it's okay to call Barack Obama a scumbag as long as it suits the people that you don't like.
Tell me one thing.
Okay, Stella. Okay, Stella. So people that you don't like, you can call names in your personal opinion, and you're right. But so okay, so we're right. So we're admitting exactly. You just made my point for me, but you're not smart enough to understand it. You just sound like it.
Fuck you.
Oh, okay, okay. So she calls into a show and she swears at me because she can't have a debate. So we have a 6-second tape delay.
We haven't had an F-bomb on this show in months.
So Stella just called in, and she just, this is so funny, guys. Okay, because we have a 5-second delay. You didn't hear it. So this woman, I don't even want to call her a woman. She's not even a human being. She calls into the show and she says, "Why do you call people names all the time?" And then JD made a very good point. Well, the last caller just called Barack Obama a scumbag, and she totally was okay with that. And then she says "F you" to me. Do you see how dumb some of these people are? Really, how dumb are JD? Really, what is the IQ of Stella? Look, you're a handicapper. What would you say the over-under would be on the IQ of Stella?
I don't like to rag on callers typically.
But be honest. With Stella, let's make an exception for her, please, for you.
Somewhere between 73 and 83.
That's actually high. I'd go a lot. I'd take the under on that. That's a lock. I take the under. Stella's IQ is under 100, definitely under 100. I would say under 60. What do we have? One more minute, Johnny. Let's squeeze in one more caller. Adam, thanks for waiting on hold. What's up? I got about 1 minute.
Hey, Adam.
Adam, are you there, my friend? Did we lose Adam? I think we might have lost Adam. That's all right. Well, anyway, maybe we should do another hour on the colors of Air Force One. maybe we should do that. I don't know. Anyway, I have let me give you an example. Samantha calls in, right? A few callers ago. She eloquently made her points. I disagreed with them, but she was respectful. Didn't call her name. We had a good conversation. I hope she calls back. Then we have Stella. Stella, isn't that the name of a wine? No, I don't know.
Stella is the name of a beer. Yeah. Stella Artois.
As Donald Trump would say, we had low IQ Stella call into the show, and she has a problem with me calling somebody a name, and then she says "F you" to me on the air. What is she? I guess, what would you say? I know you are, but what am I? Is that like sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never harm me? Thank you for the call, Stella. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Do we have to take a break, Johnny? What's going on? All right. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we will be joined by Brian Salmon from Channel 3. Are the Raptors the worst team ever to win an NBA championship? I'll give you my opinion on that when we come back. We'll ask Brian, we'll ask JD about that. When JD made a nice chuck and change last night as well. He should gloat about that. We'll talk about that when we come back on the Vegas Take. And, of course, Dennis Silvers, the golf guru, will be joining us as well, coming up in hour number 2. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. And we'll be joined by Channel 3's Brian Salmon when we come back. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN. 720 AM, KDWN. 720 AM, KDWN.